Today we look at Proverbs chapter 6, looking at verses 20 through 24. And verse 20 starts out with, there's a command that we're supposed to follow from our father and a teaching from my mother that we're supposed to follow as well. And so you kind of wonder, what is this all about? Until you get down to verse 24 where it says, these will keep you from another man's wife and they'll keep you from the wayward woman. The command and the teaching are about morality. And so then I started thinking, okay, so this means that children are to talk to their parents about sex. And I said, well, no, wait. I can't follow a command I don't know. I can't hold to a teaching I don't know. Well, that puts it back on the parents, doesn't it? As parents, we have an obligation to talk to our kids, to lay down the law about sex, and we have an obligation to talk to our kids about sex. Not the how-tos. Here are the boundaries and the places you need to stay away from. Here is what God's plan is, and this is what you need to stick to. Now, just to be plain and be clear, I want to make sure we understand we're all on the same page. God's plan for morality and God's plan for sex is that it's between a man and a woman in the bond of marriage. Anything outside of that is outside of God's boundary. You say, I don't like that. Okay, talk to God. There are things that Scripture is very ambiguous about, very unclear. This is not one of them. Scripture is quite clear. And we need to be telling our kids and teaching our kids both the command and teaching them the consequences of getting outside of God's boundaries. Too often we're silent. We let this one go. As I was writing, I thought, well, how often did my mom ever talk to me? Once, and it was a very short conversation that really had nothing to do with staying within God's boundaries. And consider this. We don't have conversations with our kids, and our kids think, okay, well, open sex is great because that's what the world tells me. I can sleep with anyone I want to. Well, then that carries on to marriage. They get married and they think, okay, well, this didn't work out. I'm moving on to somebody else because nothing's precious. As parents, start with number one. Who you decide to sleep with is precious. And you need to decide to sleep with someone that you're married to. And if we make sex precious between a man and a woman, then all of a sudden that marriage becomes precious as well. And then maybe we can stop divorce being as rampant as it is. And it's as rampant among Christians as it is non-Christians. So today, make up your mind. You are going to have a conversation with your kids about God's boundaries for sex and the consequences of going outside of those boundaries. This is kind of an important one. I think you ought to share it. This is one that will change our society if we'll get on board with this one. Want to read the whole devotional? Go to the link at the bottom of the page. We'll see you tomorrow.